Help for small businesses and, for the first time, money for states, cities, and municipalities. The Fed is also creating a municipal liquidity facility with up to $500 million in loans and $35 billion in credit protection to help manage cash flow.
Now, gas prices, folks, are beginning to spike in many states across the country, and the Biden administration has announced that it will actually be proposing a new plan to provide more relief to the millions of Americans that need the stimulus cash. So Democrats have proposed a new stimulus package. It is actually going to help households that are struggling to pay for housing and other bills. Now, Americans have noticed a significant gas price spike, followed by a drop and another spike as well. So while the average price of gas in the country is around $3, according to AAA, that price is much lower than a month ago. But still, we cannot deny the fact that President Biden has to send us stimulus payments due to inflation and the rising cost of living and so many other factors of life. A bigger concern right now might be diesel fuel, which helps power commerce, including many delivery trucks and trains. It brings holiday merchandise to homes and stores. Now, the Georgia governor decided to do this. It extended the suspension of the state's motor fuel tax for another month. The announcement comes this week after 2 executive orders from the governor. He signed the orders that extended the temporary suspension of the state motor fuel tax and extended supply chain state of emergency. This week, a senator has also introduced the Gas Prices Relief Act. So these are not like stimulus payments, though. The legislation and the bill would lower higher gas prices and deliver the much-needed economic relief to residents of New Hampshire. Now, the senator called on Joe Biden to take action to help lower energy costs by releasing oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. Recently, Roy Blunt introduced a bipartisan bill to provide tax relief to middle-class homeowners that will permanently extend a tax deduction for homeowners as well. And getting shoppers to spend this holiday season is not going to be easy. A foundation found that around November-December, they expect a rise between 6 and 8% compared to last year. So as of December, everybody, inflation is up 8.2% from a year ago, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That is near a 4-decade high. Economists point to the Personal Consumption Expenditures Price Index, which has also increased 5% from a year ago, as a more apt measure to reflect the rising consumer prices. The outlook comes after the crisis fueled 2 years of exceptional demand during the key holiday shopping season. In 2020, holiday sales rose 8% from the previous year. Last year, holiday sales grew 13.5%, and they totaled around $1 trillion. Now, new data indicates a more challenging holiday season for retailers. A year ago, consumers shopped early and spent more to secure gifts, as stores struggled to keep shelves stocked. However, major retailers, including Walmart, are swimming in extra inventory. One economist even told CNBC that Americans are still eager to spend this holiday season, but have become more cautious. Economists say that they are dipping into savings accounts and turning to credit cards as a way to pay for purchases. That's due to no stimulus payments. That's the problem, folks. Right now, lower and middle income consumers are just under more pressure as grocery, energy, and housing costs just continue to rise. Consumers do plan to spend an average of $832 a month on gifts and holidays such as decorations and food. That's roughly in line with the last 10 years on average. So we can see that President Biden has to do more for the American people and send out stimulus payments before it gets too late, because we realize that the American people are in need of more stimulus payments right now. Plus, bonus stimulus money is being sent out. Nearly $1 billion has been already allocated towards a brand new wave of inflation. That's some good news. And plus, if you paid personal income taxes in the state of Massachusetts and filed your tax return by October, you'll get a percentage of the nearly $3 billion in tax refund stimulus money that the state is already sending out this month.
Thank you. Kamala and Doug, by the way, Doug crisscrossed the country. I think he did. He spent more time making sure that the folks who actually count the votes in these states do it honestly. And thank you, pal. And folks, on behalf of Jill and myself, we're here for a simple reason, to say thank you from the bottom of our heart. Not a joke. We mean this. This is not a political piece. This is to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Most of all, thank you for believing in your country. Thank you. No, I really mean it. Thank you for fighting like the devil to make sure that we had a free and a fair election. And you know, all those election deniers, so far, best of my knowledge, none of them has not said, when they lost, they said, we lost. That's a big deal. No, I really mean it. You know, Tuesday was a good day for America, a good day for democracy, and it was a strong night for Democrats. For months and months, all of you heard from the press and the pundits was that Democrats are facing a disaster. Remember that? And all those polls, God love them. You know, historic losses were on the way, a giant red wave.
Republicans in the Senate are now pushing for new legislation that affects millions of Americans financially. And there are many developments on the next relief bill. We have some news from lawmakers in Congress. Chuck Schumer is pushing to move forward with a $52 billion bill to boost semiconductor production to address the chip shortage. And according to a source familiar with the matter, key Republicans who would be needed to advance the plan are pumping the stakes. The source said Schumer is telling senators it could head to the floor as soon as next Tuesday, but Republican John Thune, a member of GOP leadership, has cast a doubt on that plan, warning he's not sure if Republicans would provide the 10 or so votes needed to break the filibuster. Senator Thune told reporters today, "We're at a point where no one knows what the final bill might look like or what kind of and where the votes are at. We know where the votes were last time, but that was a different time. And the bill will be a scaled back version of the larger competitive legislation. Republican leaders have previously said they'd be open to passing a narrow bill that focuses mainly on the issue of producing semiconductor chips, but Thune blamed Democrats for mishandling the chips legislation. The fight comes as the Biden administration has ramped up pressure on Congress to act on the chip shortage before the upcoming elections. And student loan forgiveness is one of Biden's top priorities. The Biden administration proposed wide-ranging changes to student loan forgiveness programs that would reduce the bureaucracy currently standing in the way of some borrowers having their debt canceled. The education secretary said in a statement this week, if a borrower qualifies for student loan relief, it shouldn't take mountains of paperwork or a law degree to obtain it. Student loan benefits also should not be hard to get, that borrowers never actually benefit from them. The proposed changes, which the Department of Education hopes to finalize later this year, will make it easier for those who already qualify for existing programs to get this relief. In the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, which also allows government and nonprofit employees to have their loans forgiven after making 120 monthly payments, will also get an overhaul. Workers in eligible jobs must currently abide by strict rules like making the payment in full within 15 days of its due date. The new rules would eliminate that 15-day requirement. Officials have told reporters the regulations we propose would remove many of those barriers and help create a student loan forgiveness program that works better for borrowers. Biden announced 2 rounds of student loan forgiveness last month and about $12 million, mostly for students who attended for-profit colleges. The president has so far resisted calls from the progressive wing of his party to cancel up to $50,000 in student loan debt for every borrower. But the Washington Post reported in May that he is considering a smaller, more targeted cancellation of student debt.